Welcome back, everyone. Great to have your company here at Cruise1st TV. Now, we are the cruise experts that can find you the very best travel experiences around the world. And this is a very special show as we sail away carefree in ultimate style with Oceania cruises.
Incredible offering, and these really are the ultimate in carefree cruise experiences, and we're elevating them simply more in this show, giving you that supreme experience with more included. Now, we are off to the Caribbean in early December to spend some time in Barbados and then cruise the islands. We've also got an incredible Far East package for the end of March, staying in Singapore and cruising Malaysia. Let's start, though, on the latest addition to the Oceania fleet, the Allura, taking on a Mediterranean maiden voyage in July next year. Now, we're going to fly you first to Trieste in Italy, and we'll enjoy a two-night hotel stay here first. Now, this is lovely because it's kind of not as much visited Italian destination when it comes to sort of your pre-cruise or post-cruise stays. A little bit more off the beaten track. It's in beautiful mountainous northern Italy. It's in the Friuli Venezia Giulia region in northeast. So it's something that occupies you know, a strip between the Adriatic coast and Slovenia's border. And actually you can kind of do day trips over to Slovenia as well, but just enjoy the relaxed vibe that Trieste has to offer. Now, of course, you're not too far from Venice if you want to take the train over to Venice as well. You're near the Prosecco region too, which is fantastic. Then it's time for us to cruise, heading on board the newest, most exciting vessel in the fleet of incredible Oceania cruises, the Allura, for your 6-night all-inclusive maiden voyage cruise. I know, look at this. The spaces on Oceania are much more low-key, but it's absolutely luxurious at every turn. I adored this cruise line. I was lucky enough to spend a month sort of heading around South America on one of the Oceania ships, and also a couple of other cruises, and I really do feel the luxury when I've been on board these vessels. It is about much more attention to detail, much many less passengers. The ships are much smaller anyway. The food is superb, and I'm talking when you go up to the buffet on board Oceania, it is the quality of a 6-star restaurant. Like, everything is delicious. I was so impressed at every turn. You've got all your favorites, you know, when it comes to cruising as well. You've still got all the things available that you might like about maybe the bigger ships, such as your, you know, your quizzes, your bingo, your game shows, your game nights, that kind of thing. But it is all about voyaging, you know, high quality living, just enjoying the moments that take your breath away whilst you're on board the cruise. And the staterooms, my goodness. Again, I was fortunate because I was working on board as a guest lecturer, so I got to enjoy the premium staterooms, and they are superb. I think that this is really going to turn some heads. For those of you that have never experienced this kind of ship before, it's a happy medium between sort of those brands that you'd come to expect as being like, you know, the very high-end luxury, and maybe something that is more kind of in the middle. It sits in the perfect place, I think, for you if you're wanting to have, you know, the all-inclusive experience as well. So that is going to include a lot already packed into your cruise fare, which is fantastic. Restaurants, my goodness. Now, like I mentioned, I did mention the buffet before, which is not really a buffet. Like I said, it's much more of a luxurious experience. But when it comes to enjoying some of the tempting offerings, you have Toscana, where Tuscany meets Venice with those beautiful homegrown Italian flavors. You've got Red Ginger, which is Pan-Asian. You have the Aquamar Kitchen, which has bright, sort of nourishing flavors. Waves Grill and Pizzeria as well. And we're talking about that delicious homemade pizza whilst you're on board.
This is all about experience cruising, isn't it?
Yes.
So you're cruising with fewer people, there are more crew to passengers, so there's more time, you get to meet the most fascinating people on these journeys, and actually the whole thing is a very, very relaxed and sophisticated yet comfortable and relaxed affair, which I think is very, very important as well. So we've got some really nice destinations on this too as well. So we're cruising out of Trieste in Italy.
Yeah, and our first port is Rijeka in Croatia, which is on the Varna Bay in the North Adriatic Sea. It's a very lush and beautiful, gorgeous beaches right there as well. Croatia is one of the most up-and-coming destinations of the world of cruising at the moment. And then we're on into Ravenna in Italy, one of the great cultural sites in Europe, many say, with your beautiful Basilica di San Vitale to visit. San Marino's not too far away either, but just stroll the back streets and see the incredible architecture of this destination. Then it's Dubrovnik, the incredible walled city, home of many sites from Game of Thrones, if you follow that series. It's UNESCO World Heritage. You've got to go and see the world's oldest pharmacy. That's really interesting. The Rose Pharmacy, actually, whilst you're there. Then we're on into Kotor, Montenegro. So this is awash with culture, this itinerary. And I love how they've packed so many great destinations into a relatively short itinerary. So Kotor is lovely. Again, it's a UNESCO World Heritage. Montenegro is a bit more off the beaten track, place to visit. Then we're into the port for Athens, where we'll disembark and fly back to the UK after this taste of incredible luxury and so much packed into the voyage as well, which we'll go into in a moment, and a maiden voyage on this beautiful Oceania ship.
Yeah, very, very special. I mean, it's always very, very special, of course, to be on one of the first cruises on any cruise ship. Very, very exciting. Exciting for the crew that you'll meet on board as well, who will have been recruited from, 5-star hotels around the world. So they've got fascinating stories as well, and they've got the time to tell them. It's incredible. Now, I'll talk to you about the inclusions in just a moment, but we are on this offer enjoying a veranda stateroom, which is wonderful. Lots of amenities there for you to enjoy, and you can book this offer today with a deposit of just £500 each. So I'm going to give you the price tag, and then we'll talk about what's included in the Oceania experience on board, because it is very, very comprehensive. It is beautiful in terms of relaxed luxury, just that feeling of calm and everything being taken care of. Everything is just happening there for you. You can just literally, it's like sinking into a very, very warm bath and just enjoying it and having no cares and worries whatsoever. That's what this kind of experience is about. It's amazing. So you're on a veranda stateroom here as well, and they really are spacious. I'll talk to you about what's in those in just a moment. But let's have a look at the upgrades that there are for this as well, and then we can talk about the inclusions with this. So in your stateroom itself, of course, you've got a wonderful veranda. You can have room service out there and enjoy all of your meals out there. The most incredible bedding is there for you. Included in the offering as well is the Simply More upgrade. Now this is brilliant. That means that every time you're dining at lunch and at dinner, champagne, wine and beer are included for you. Your gratuities are part of your fare. You have extra shore excursion credit as well, because you're going to these not so visited ports on itineraries with Oceania as well. They're more boutique. So discover these new places with some shore excursion credit. Speciality dining included for you as well in these really, really focused, beautiful restaurant experiences on board. And you've got unlimited Wi-Fi for you as well, which is great, because Wi-Fi while you're on board is great for researching the places you're about to go to, finding out even more. I mean, there will be live presentations on board, there will be luminary guest speakers on board, delivering fascinating information on the places you're about to go and see. And there's, of course, the shore excursions on offer from Oceania themselves as well. So information is coming at you left, right and centre, but it is good to be able to keep in touch as well, upload those photos straight away as well. Listen, if you want to know more, if you want to have a closer look in terms of the ship, the accommodation, on what's included there, it is beautiful and so much is included. These are like those very, very special, almost kind of like honeymoon experiences,
yes.
but don't use a honeymoon.
Yeah.
Don't wait for a honeymoon as a reason to do something like this. Do it. It is that experience kind of cruise. And that's the thing, really. Yes, they are more considered, but what is delivered back to you in terms of effortless beauty around you and such attention to detail, as you said.
Yeah, absolutely. And you will notice leaps and bounds, kind of experience-wise, difference-wise, between maybe other cruises you've taken, as great as they might have been, for the price difference. So it's absolutely worth treating yourself. Trust me on this one to Oceania. You will be blown away.
Yes, that next
level. You really
level.
will be. And we're going to jet off to the charms of the Caribbean next on Oceania's Insignia. A 2-week break starting on the 9th of December as we fly off to Bridgetown in Barbados. First for a 3-night hotel stay, all Sandy Lane, enjoying a nice afternoon tea, heading down to Lime Grove for the luxury tax and duty-free shopping, perhaps a spot of Gucci, Chanel or Louis Vuitton to treat yourself to. Why not? And then, of course, there is the lush, rich greenness and freshness of the jungles, mixed with the beautiful powder white sand of the beaches, and that undeniable British flair that also characterises Barbados. I mean, Bridgetown, you've got Trafalgar Square downtown in Bridgetown, and, you know, the Barbados people kind of do see themselves as being almost more British than Caribbean. I love that. There's the kind of that tie-in which adds to the charm. Then it's time for us to cruise on board the Insignia, which is regatta class for 10 nights. Now, the Insignia is a much smaller vessel. You've got about 700 passengers or thereabouts. The ratio is about 1 to 1.63 crews, so it is really higher than a lot of other brands in the industry, which is lovely to know because you're not waiting for anything on board, you know, whether it's a cocktail or to be served in the dining room. You know, they are always there to give you the most attentive service. Really luxurious, opulent staterooms. They're beautiful. Honestly, you just feel like you're so spoiled and so comfortable. You drift off into a cloud when you're sleeping. I mean, it's just absolutely incredible. I really had, like I said, the most amazing experience in Oceania. We touched on the enrichment before, and they do bring on lecturers from all over the world to give you the lowdown on the ports when it comes to booking your shore excursions, of course, but also give you some kind of unexpected, exciting things to look forward to on board that are perhaps not what you were expecting on a cruise. And I also love that about it. You've got a little putting green upstairs as well to enjoy. And it is all about the finer things in life. A very well-stocked travel library, which I love.
Yes, it's quite nice to sometimes just disappear off into the library, isn't it? And just, you know, just maybe even take a glass of wine and just, you know, take an hour to just completely and utterly decompress and unwind. And all the areas on the ship as well, by the way, you're never going to feel, you have that feeling of being around a lot of people all at the same time. That's the great thing about this. The other difference you'll notice as well from maybe some of the sort of bigger cruise lines is that there's never this feeling of sort of frenetic activity. Obviously, the crew on board these cruise ships, you know, when they're serving more people, have to do it at a slightly faster pace.
Yep.
And you notice that and you feel that. And sometimes you can absorb that frenetic activity, can't you? When you're on board one of these ships, everything is so discreet. It almost all happens behind closed doors. Do you know what I mean?
It really does.
But very gently, very calmly, so you never feel like you're a nuisance, you're in the way. You feel like absolutely the red carpet is being rolled out for you. And that's a very special feeling, and that's something you can't put a price tag on, if you like. That's something that this video can't show you, is that level of complete relaxation. You're never looking around, you're never feeling tension. Do you know what I mean? You're just there enjoying every one of those wonderful experiences.
100%. That's just what it's like. That's just what I even felt like that being a guest lecturer on board. I felt like I was part of the experience. You've got the Simply More package with free champagne, wine and beer, gratuities included, $300 towards shore excursions. We are cruising out of Barbados, more about that later, and we are heading into our first port of call, which is St. George's, Grenada, the Spice Isle, enigmatic, colourful, vibrant, full of beautiful marine life. It really is very special. The Best of Grenada with Grand Atang Park is a great excursion to do. It takes you to Annandale Falls as well. Then it's Kingstown in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. This is a relatively unspoilt island, famed for its natural beauty. It has a rugged coastline, lush rainforest and stunning waterfalls. You definitely want to head to the amazing botanical garden there. Then it's Lancaster is St Lucia, which is nestled below the Petong Twin Peaks, which rise over 2,600 feet above sea level. Head to the Sulphur Springs and Marigot Bay for an excursion. You won't regret it. Then it's Rossau in Dominica, which lies between Guadeloupe and Martinique. And again, it is really unspoilt. So you've got the rainforest, which is home to a lot of rare birds and animals. Take the Caribbean culinary adventure if you want to learn more about the cuisine in this part of the world. St John's Antigua awaits us next, and this is full of amazing history. You can head to Nelson's Dockyard and Shirley Heights to learn about that, or perhaps on a canopy zipline adventure, which takes you across the jungle. Then we have home of the rich and famous, or where the rich and famous vacation. It's Gustavia and St Bart's, a melting pot of French flair with Nordic architecture and that Caribbean calypso and salsa lifestyle mixed with luxury shopping. San Juan, Puerto Rico is next, where the Caribbean meets Europe with its own distinctive vibe that really moves to the salsa beats you'll find, you know, in the lovely bars around the cobblestone Old Town. It is magical, this port. I love it. Then we're into Puerto Plata in the Dominican Republic. And again, this, you know, cruise line does take you off the beaten track quite somewhat. And this is, again, an island of relatively unspoilt beauty. So you do want to take a nature excursion if you can, or maybe head to the rum factory while you're there. Then we're heading into Miami, Florida, where you'll disembark and we will fly you home. Do speak to the team if you want to extend your stay in Florida. Certainly at this time of year as well, it might be something you want to think about for sure. But here's an overview.
Because you would be coming back, 14 plus 9 is 23, isn't it? So you'd be flying back the day before Christmas Eve. So actually, you know, there's very much merit into adding a 3-4 night break in Miami, or maybe nearby Orlando, and maybe doing the parks over Christmas, or just enjoying Christmas, you know, in the sunshine, as opposed to, I mean, as soon as you leave on this holiday, you're very soon going to forget that it's December, because you're flying straight over to Barbados for your 3-night stay there before this incredible cruise. And it's a cruise very much with a difference. It's a nice little pre-Christmas kind of break, isn't it? Being in the Caribbean, lots of people love being in the Caribbean at this time of the year as well. Deposits today to absolutely lock your place in today of £500 each, and the price tag is a lot less than you are going to expect it to be, given the fact that this is boutique cruising. So you're going to go to ports. I noted ports on that itinerary that you hardly ever see on itineraries as well, and you're staying longer, and you've got that more attentive service, and there's so much more included in your experience, which is fantastic. And listen, like I said before, being away at this time of the year, it's difficult to put a price on it, really, isn't it? But that is a pretty good price, let me tell you, given the calibre of cruising we are doing. Now, that's based on an interior stateroom, so let's have a look at two things first. The upgrades to your ocean view, veranda and suite staterooms on this cruise. Now, let's talk to you about the inclusions as well. So champagne, wine and beer included with lunch and dinner, which is fantastic. Your gratuities are there, part of the deal as well. Specialty dining is included, unlimited Wi-Fi, and some shore excursion credits on this offer of $300. Just to talk to you about the stateroom for a second, the most amazing tranquility bed, Bulgari amenities in the bathroom, which is pretty lovely. Twice daily maid service. You've got an interactive TV with on-demand movies in there. You've got a safe, you've got hairdryer, you've got Belgian chocolates with the turn-down service. So actually, you know what, the absolute standard here is very much elevated from a regular cruise experience, and they are lovely, and they are very, very popular indeed as well. It's a cruise line that people, it's one of those things, once you go to this level of cruising, it becomes very, very difficult to turn back again, and you'll want to repeat the experience again and again and again. Listen, talk to our team. We know the ships. We've been on board the ships as well. We've got all the information that you need, any questions that you have, and many more itineraries as well. You'll find them all on our website at cruise1st.tv. But again, if you want more advice, 0800 953 4700. Maybe, you know, maybe the time of year that we're looking at in the offers here, you're looking at you want to do the same kind of thing, but a different time of the year, then talk to the team and we'll match make for you, which is lovely. ultimate, gorgeous, relaxed experience at sea. That's what you want. And we're actually going to stay in the R class, the regatta class on Oceania for our third offer now, which is for March, which is not that far away at all. We're going to cruise Malaysia, so we fly first out to Singapore, and we've got 4 nights there in a hotel to relax, chill out, see the Merlion fountain.
There she is.
And the Mercub.
Mercub, I just love that. You know, from Buddhist temples to Arab bazaars and the traditional Chinese markets, Singapore is full of energy and excitement, but also luxury. If you love luxury, they have some great luxury shopping. You have amazing botanical gardens like nothing else on earth. They even have a butterfly garden in Changi International Airport, which is pretty incredible.
Oh, do they?
They do.
Wowzers.
When you're doing your stopover, you can go and see the butterflies and feel very relaxed.
Ah.
Then it's time to cry. It's time to cruise even. You won't be crying when you're on board this vessel, that's for sure. My goodness. The regatta for 6 fabulous nights. I've actually been on board this vessel and she does not disappoint at all. By the way, when you're at the pool, you have lovely poolside service. Now, remembering you've got your drinks included as well, but they come around with things like fruit kebabs and cool towels just to make you feel relaxed. So it's these little areas of attention to detail that make Oceania an elevated cruising experience. I mean, and the little touches in your staterooms, you mentioned the Bulgari in there, they have the amenities which are just such a nice touch when you go in, the sunken bathtubs, it is incredible.
Yeah, it's very, very nice indeed. Let's just give you a quick overview actually of just, you know, what is kind of, you know, as standard on board all of these ships that we've been looking at here. So a lot of your dining is included. Of course, we're adding even more with our offers. They've got shuttle services taking you into the ports. You're there for longer as well, which you know, does make a big difference. So you're not constantly kind of looking at your watch thinking, okay, when do I need to be back at the ship, because you have got that more relaxed approach to it as well. And it is very informal atmosphere on board, as you can see. There are, as Joe mentioned before, there are kind of cruising favourites as well, so they'll do, you know, daily quizzes and bingo and things like that that people love. It's generally adults only as well, so there's lots of wonderful couples and family groups on board. You also have things like fitness classes that are all part of the offering, so wherever you turn, you're not feeling like you're constantly dipping into your pocket or buying tickets or buying an upgrade for this or an upgrade for that. So there's that feeling of completeness to your experience, which I think is really lovely, particularly for us as Brits, because no offence anyone, but I'm the same as well. We're very price conscious, aren't we?
Yeah.
So anything that we're paying for in addition, we kind of feel and we notice, and that takes away from the experience a little bit if you've got to think about it. Whereas it's a more rounded experience here, because so much and so much elevation in everything. Nothing is run of the mill here. Everything is, you know, special.
I mean, you've got, for example, your afternoon tea. They have the lovely string quartet playing, but it's a 4-tiered pastry cart. Like it's every inch the kind of quality you'd get in the top hotels in London, Manchester, Glasgow. You know, when you go for that really special afternoon tea, that is the kind of quality. You'll get it every day if you want to eat that every day.
With the choice of those special blends from around the world as well, that are explained to you, and that just makes something which you remember. It might just be tea in the afternoon, but it's something that lives long in the memory. Wonderful itinerary we're about to embark on here for 6 nights out of Singapore.
So we're heading to Malacca and fabulous Malaysia first, where you can visit some incredible temples such as the Chen Hun Teng, and perhaps head to the Malacca Straits Mosque. They have some vibrant, gorgeous mosques here. I would do a best of Malacca or a little trolley train tour. Then it's Penang, and Penang is famed for its incredible eco-cert habitat park called Penang Hill, where you can ride the cable car up there. Absolutely jaw-dropping. You've got the Kek Losi Temple to see as well, and the Snake Temple. Then we're on into Phuket in beautiful Thailand, where you must visit an elephant sanctuary if you possibly can. I mean, it's just one of the most life-defining experiences I've had. I loved it. The rubber plantation is also interesting to learn about. Then it's Langkawi, which comprises a group of 99 tropical islands, and it has been accorded geopark status. You have the mangrove tour right there in Rice Museum. You can do them both as part of an excursion whilst you're there. Kuala Lumpur's next, the capital of Malaysia. Bustling, exciting, vibrant, commercial. At the same time, there's the other part, which is showing you lots of history, like the Batu Caves. So you've got sort of new meets old. Back into Singapore for your flight back, and of course, so much included. Your stay in Singapore, this wonderful itinerary, and tons packed into your cruise fare already when you cruise Oceania.
And it's like having your hand held into unfamiliar territory as well. I think that's the difference with this calibre of cruise, is when you're going to a part of the world that you're unfamiliar with, you know, having the shuttles when you need them to go in, having the range of excursions, and having the guest speakers actually give you a full presentation of various options. You're talking about the history, talking about the culture, talking about the places that you really must see while you're in a place, and then booking the excursion there and then to actually do it gives you, again, it's about this rounded, complete experience, which is a great way of seeing unfamiliar parts of the world. Deposits today on this offer, just £500 each, and here's your price tag for the entire package. And this is all about experience, experience, experience. This isn't one of those cruises where we can say, actually, you know, this is all about the lowest number it can possibly be. This is about us securing the best sort of gilt-edged all-round experience in terms of destination and in terms of the offering on board. Now, this is based on inside, so let's have a look at the upgrade prices to take you up to ocean view, up to a lovely veranda suite. And indeed further on to a full suite if you want to on this one. It is lovely. Now, we have even more additions to Simply More on this offer, because rather than champagne, wines and beers simply with lunch and dinner, we've got a full upgraded drinks package to the Prestige Select Beverage package. Means drinks from any bar, lounge or restaurant as well. The top shelf, the cocktails, champagnes, wine, etc. You also have $250 of on-board credit for you to spend on pamper treatments. Could be, you know, there's various other things it could be as well. Gratuities, and you've got some shore excursion credit too, plus the extra speciality dining, unlimited Wi-Fi too, and your gourmet speciality dining, which is, I mean, it's all exceptional anyway, wherever you dine. It is all exceptional, but again, we've enhanced that with the Simply More offer here as well, giving you, again, the price of your holiday. You know, then the price of your holiday is the price of your holiday. You're not forever adding extras to that. And these are very, very special experiences. This is maybe something you've been cruising for the last 30 years, and this is the time, right, okay, we are going, you know, super, super special this time. And maybe this is the treat. Maybe this is a once-in-a-decade treat. The one thing I will say about it is it's kind of one of those once bitten, forever smitten experiences, and then you will be coming back on an annual basis, don't you think?
Yes, 100%.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, when you experience the Oceania level of, you know, sailing quality, just the day-to-day life of it, you'll be back for sure.
But you know what? It's worth reaching out that little bit further.
I think so.
Because it's something that you kind of feel like you've got to try, and something that you deserve in terms of a holiday experience. And once you've done it, you'll get it straight away. You'll know exactly what we're saying. Listen, if you want to know more, our team are always there. Free call 0800 953 4700, and more on the website at cruise1st.tv. We're both back later. Bye-bye.
Mind how you go.